Oh, great. It's you again.
Your
Wonderful.
birthday.
Every week I hope someone else shows up in that chair and it's you every time. Oh, God.
When you
Again.
start your own show, I'm sure you'll have someone else.
I don't have the capability of doing that.
Get used to this one.
I have the talent. I just don't have the capability technologically.
We're back with How Can You Say That? Segment 25, part 2 of mainstream media.
Otherwise known as 25.5.
Propaganda.
Or 26.
Side.
Actually, segment.
So we've just completed part 1 of this podcast where Jon says I bullied him into this.
Wait,
topic.
hold on. We screwed up everything. You said this was 25?
Yes.
No, I think it was 28 and 28 and 20. I think we got all of our numbers wrong. All right, it'll be written right on the bottom. Just ignore everything she says verbally. It'll be written right on the bottom. Go ahead.
So where did you get 28 from? Did you drink something?
Because I knew, I'll explain to you after. The whole public doesn't need to see behind the scenes.
All right. Jon goes off on a tangent sometimes, or somewhere in space that I've never gone, so I can't keep up.
You
But I'm
weren't
sure
invited.
I wasn't invited. So anyway, we're back with news or propaganda. And this topic was not on our agenda for a television or podcast. It came out of an experience we had and that I've been seeing a lot of people having. And I thought we should talk about it. We're living in a culture now where you have to stand in line with the narrative, the acceptable narrative, or you get your hands cut. You get a yellow ticket and a warning for publishing misinformation. So sad. So sad. I can't believe I'm in America. Anyway, I don't get to make the rules, and I'm doing my best to follow them.
We can move to a different platform like Truth Social or something like that, where they don't censor things. There are other platforms where you can be much more free to express your perspective without it. But, you know, one thing that I do like about YouTube is a massive audience, tremendous amount of exposure. And, you know, look, so sometimes people that have opinions that are somewhat contrary to the narrative that the media companies want.
The acceptable narrative.
Correct. You just have to be a little bit more careful in the way you phrase things. So whatever, that's what we're just going to do for now until we
we'll show you the words we won't say them.
Until Jenny decides to bring her fortune over from California and purchase like a TV station to produce her own content and have her own media outlet. That hidden fortune you have in San Francisco from all the Silicon Valley.
When I find out about it, I'll gladly go and get it.
It's like buried somewhere. And right now the homeless people in San Francisco are probably unburying it and finding it.
Question.
For me?
For anybody. For you watching, for Jon, for anyone who has the answer.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
So the question is, when did America become world peace and the moral police of the world? And how can we be when we can't even manage our own issues and crises? I am wondering, because I feel like we are now the moral police for the world. And I'm saying this because when I look at what's going on in Hawaii, in the M part of Hawaii that was just burnt out, every person who survived that fire was given a one-time payment of $700. This is really been hurting.
Seems reasonable.
$700 one time. What who made this decision? Have they gone grocery shopping lately? Do they know what it costs for rent and gas? What is $700 going to do for people who lost everything? And get this. They were told that whether they had a catastrophe or they had a fire or whatever crisis, they still have to pay their bills. What kind of cold, heartless people are we living amongst? And our president has
your president, not mine.
He's not my president. I don't have a president. I don't.
You're living in a presidentless country?
That sending so much money to a foreign country, it's like you're in your house with your kids, and one of your kids has a terrible accident and needs a cast, or needs medicine, or the doctor needs to do an x-ray or an MRI, and you tell the child, oh, we can't do it. You're gonna have to stay there with your broken leg and suffer, because the funds that we have, we need to send it to that little boy in Iraq or
Ukraine,
who got his leg broken. What's missing? Can somebody write to me on our podcast on our?
I'm going to tell you right now.
Just help me understand.
Do you want the answer?
1 minute before you answer. I'm just someone who will torture myself going everywhere looking, because I like answers on this. I have a very.
If you like answers, then be quiet. Let me give them to you.
I have a very curious mind. Okay, Jonathan, let's hear the answer.
Well,
I think it's something.
It's very similar.
Asking a serious.
It's very similar. The analogy you gave, I'm just going to give you one further. It's the same thing with giving illegal migrants cell phones and money and living arrangements and food, but you're not taking care of your own homeless people in the country sleeping all over the street. Same concept. It's called misplaced priorities. You know, in my real job, when I have clients, what I always tell them, you know, they always want to give money away to their children and to their grandchildren. And I think I may have mentioned this on a prior podcast. I always tell them, you can't give anything to others until you can take care of yourself first. You have to be financially set and stable before you then go and support others. Because once you give it away, you can't get it back. So take care of your own home, your own well-being. And once you know you have enough and you're self-sufficient and don't need more, the excess you can give away. Now, we go in this country, we're over $30 trillion with a T in debt. We're running a $2 trillion deficit every year, adding to that. We can't afford to do anything. We can't even afford to take care of our own country. Never mind. Wait, I was talking.
I like that.
Oh, we're doing this interrupting thing? Is that how this is going?
You taught me and now I can't help it. Sorry.
So then I'll do what you do. Okay, go ahead.
No, finish.
No,
finish
go ahead. Doesn't matter.
Well,
No, it's okay.
That's we are in a $1 trillion debt and all this, but you know,
30 trillion, not a trillion.
$30 trillion.
Technically, the country's bankrupt. We are a bankrupt nation.
But guess what? The people above us, they're not going to be affected.
Of course not.
What is wrong with this picture?
Think about this.
People voting.
Think about this. How does a senator who makes $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year, whatever it makes, how do they end up being like a Nancy Pelosi worth $50 million? How does that happen? How does a president, Obama, was making $400,000 a year as president for 8 years? How is he living in $20 million homes? How does that happen? Oh, they always answer, oh, speaking fees. Who the hell even wants to hear him talk? Never mind the speaking fees. The point is that there is a lot of
people who don't. There's still a lot of people asleep. But here's what I have to say.
I can't finish any thoughts.
I think I know how.
Role reversal.
I think I know how, but it will be called conspiracy, gaslighting, misinformation. So, guess what?
What?
Those who don't know will continue to live in ignorance if all they want to do is watch Fox.
Nah, Fox is a little different.
I'm sorry.
MSDNC.
Whatever.
Because it's a news media outlet of the Democratic Party.
Whatever mainstream outlet you're watching, I feel like you should go and look at news, look at other news, and you may start finding out things that you don't like I did. Like I did.
I had another thought. I was watching one of our prior podcasts about cancel culture, and it occurred to me.
Yes.
Why is it called cancel culture? Why isn't it called deleted culture? Isn't it so much more harsh to delete someone? When you delete something, it's as if it never existed. When you cancel them, you're simply saying, well, you're still here, but we're just canceling you, which means you can always come back. I think the term should be the deleted culture. What do you think of that?
Well, John, you come up with some brilliant ideas. It would work for me.
Isn't it so much harsher?
Yeah, but are they truly deleted or can they rebound?
Well, they're not really canceled. Well, you could retrieve from your deleted.
If you delete, then that's it. You're done.
No, but you could delete and then you could delete from the deleted. So it's really gone.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you cancel them, maybe they're leaving it open so that they can make their way back if they reform, or I don't know why they.
But it's so much harsher to just can't to delete.
Well,
I don't mean to give the left ideas, but just throwing that out there.
Okay, so I want to say something.
I have such a bone to pick with you also.
Okay, we'll let you pick the bone in a minute.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, I've been watching a lot of the survivors in the M part of Hawaii that was just burnt. And one night I actually started to cry. There are lots of children that have never been accounted for. To date, no one knows where they are. And we haven't seen any parents crying for their missing children. I find that so weird. The site where the fire occurred has been locked down. And I watched where one person who was going on the ground to try to bring information to the world because they're looking for help. I saw him being ticketed by the police. I mean, some crazy things are happening. But here is what I wanted to say after all of the work I've been doing. I feel offended by a government who's clearly treating us like our brains are ornaments. And regardless of our wisdom and the glaring facts, that they, in a nonchalant way, forcing us to accept the narrative they're force feeding us, which does not resonate with the facts as we know them. I am offended by this, and I know that people are going to hate me for saying this. This is my truth. It doesn't have to be yours. But I am tired of being an educated woman in a so-called democratic country being forced to accept things that are just not making sense.
It's a very pretty dress, by the way. Is that dress literally being held together by one string over here? That's like so set up for a wardrobe malfunction.
Double with what I just said.
Comfortable or uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable.
I wasn't even listening. I have no idea what you said. No, I'm joking. I listen to everything that you say because I look for interruption spots, and I didn't sense any weakness in that tirade, so I didn't want to get in the way.
Till the end, so now you can say your stuff. I said I spent a lot of time last night. I was up late preparing for this, and I wanted to make sure on my platform, on our platform.
My little slip of the tongue there.
John, it used to be my show for 12 years, so I'm sorry that I forget that I now have.
Well, you still do. No, you still consider it your show, and you just consider me to be a guest. Which again, yesterday I was threatened with being replaced by somebody else, which is the usual threat that's hung over my head. You know, after I chose to donate my entire podcast salary to charity, you would think that you have free talent over here, which you don't even refer to as talent, you refer to as blowing hot air. So why am I even here? Can you answer that?
I'm just going with the flow. I'm going with the
Answer that. Talk into the microphone and answer, why am I here?
You're here because you're a man boy, and I thought if I brought a child on the show, it would bring a flair of something that was lacking.
You mean it'll balance your boringness?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So, John, what do you think about what I just said? That's my truth. What?
I think expressing your truth is healthy. I have no idea what her truth is. I think that it's very important to be able to share your perspective and your viewpoint and to be heard. And the unfortunate thing is that it's almost like sometimes you know the expression fighting a losing battle.
Of course.
So that's what it feels like. And when you have certain things stacked against you, like in this case, you have the media, you have the political establishment, you have all of their talking heads, you have a lot of Hollywood, whether it's the actors, musicians, you have them all on one team. And when you have that type of team against you, it almost feels quite hopeless to be able to ever recover the power in the country. Now, that was, for better or for worse, that was the massive attraction of Donald Trump, because it was basically an FU to the establishment, and in a genuine sense, somebody that's going to really come in, shake things up, and flip the world over on fire, which the establishment was crapping in their pants about. Now, over the course of the 4 years, he began the process of doing that. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the job. Will he be back in 24 to complete the job? Maybe yes, maybe no. But it's only when a candidate like that truly does not give a crap about the establishment and wants to flip it on its head and change it, that's the only way we're going to win back this country and really make it into what it was before. You know, the expression, the MAGA thing, the Make America Great, which I think is really a fascinating slogan. There's absolutely nothing offensive. Anybody that finds it offensive should pack their crap up and leave.
I find it offensive.
Make America great again?
Yes.
Oh, why is that?
Because
you don't want America to be great?
I'm sick of everybody sitting and blowing hot air, including.
No, that's not hot air. He was doing it. I could give you example after example of what he was doing to make America great again.
John,
my point, though, let me finish.
I'm not fight with you.
Good.
Because I believe in letting people believe what they believe.
But I can give you examples of that, concrete examples, okay, which we can get into or not get into. The point that I'm bringing out is whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's somebody else, the only way this country becomes the great country that it was is when all of this nonsense and damage gets undone and turned back the clock to where we were. Now, there could come a point which the left is hoping for there's no going back, because too much damage has been done. It's like when you have a car accident, when the car is totaled, it's not repairable. It's garbage. The insurance company pays you and takes the car. Goodbye. I don't want this country to be totaled. The country has a lot of damage.
Are you kidding? This country is on a slippery slope to what you don't want. That's
what I'm saying, but it's not completely destroyed. There's room to fix it. And with the right political candidates in office actually doing the things that they say they're going to do, the ones that really don't give a crap and that have the ability to do it, a la a Donald Trump type.
Can I tell you what I think? No. You know why? Because I want to tell you something.
What?
It doesn't matter who you put. You can put a Republican, you can put a Democrat.
I just got done telling you that that's not true, because a Trump-like character is the one that can do it.
I believe there is a power behind all of these people that you could put a saint in there. And when he sits there, something happens.
Because the establishment tries to destroy it.
Or of the same.
Jenny,
that's just my opinion. Don't come and arrest me for it. I think I still am entitled to an opinion. Okay, you can speak now.
I'm sorry, I was napping. I took a nap. I'm sorry. It was a quick nap with my eyes open. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the country is repairable. The financial damage it's done to this country is repairable. I'm not going to get into I'm not running for office. I will never run for office. I have too many people that dislike my opinions to ever win. But all I will say is the damage that was done to this country is all fixable and all repairable. And we don't want to get to a point where we cross the line and we can't get it back. And right now, that's why this 2024 election that's coming up next year is so pivotal, because you can actually have the ability to put candidates in office that can do the things that they promise and do the things that they say and turn back the clock on where this country needs to be. That's it. Now you can go.
Well, you made it sound like an easy sweep.
It is.
But from where I sit, the problem that I see is, like I said, you could put the bishop in there, probably same thing will happen, because I believe that there's something on that seat that. Anyway, the lip is zipped. Enough said.
Zip the lip. You always get everything backwards.
What did I say?
The lip is zipped. I've zipped the lip. I'm going to switch that.
The lip is zipped, meaning I've said enough.
I know what it means.
So, I'm realizing that I was asleep for a long time.
Right.
Because
you were living in San Francisco.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why do you have such San Francisco envy?
No, I have San Francisco hatred.
Why isn't everybody in New York?
I'm an anti-San Franciscan.
Why does everyone in New York think that everybody living in San Francisco is like, we have this big umbrella and under it, everyone is a liberal, everyone believes the same thing?
Because they are and they do. And that's why they have an office the people they do.
I learned a long time ago that I wasn't going to give any energy to ignorance. And tonight is not going to be an exception. So
My whole friendship with you is based on that.
next, Jonathan,
I had a bone to pick with you.
go ahead.
It didn't hit me until the other day. Your ethnicity we were talking about, mentioning a portion of you as Lebanese.
My father is Lebanese.
I understand that.
So what?
And I realize that makes you like half Arab almost.
So what's wrong with that? I should kill you? Is that what you're saying?
I'm afraid you might try.
It's not too late.
Arabs and Jews don't necessarily get along very well.
I see where this is going.
So I'd like to have a personal request, being that you're Lebanese. First of all, and it's funny because the other day, after you had lunch envy today.
You texted me about this Lebanese crap. I'm like, what the heck is going on with this Lebanese?
Today in the studio, when you had lunch envy and you wanted my lunch, I wanted to mention that the prior day I had actually purchased you lunch.
Yes, you did.
And I purchased you a falafel, which is Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
And I asked you,
left it.
I don't care if you liked it or not. That's not the point.
So why did you buy it?
And along with the falafel, I asked you if you wanted the yogurt sauce or if you wanted, in America, what they call tahini, but in reality, it's called tahina, which is what it's called in the Middle East, tahina, with the sound.
About all this is.
My point is that it was at that moment that I realized the Lebanese-ness of you. And I realized that that's probably why we fight all the time and why we're enemies, just like Israel and Lebanon. So I have a request from you. I would like you to use your Lebanese connections.
To do what?
To set up an interview on our podcast with Hassan Nasrallah, who is the head of Hezbollah, in English, commonly known as Hezbollah. In the Middle East, it's referred to as Hezbollah.
Okay, John.
And I would like to settle this Israel-Lebanon dispute with Mr. Nasrallah.
Sure, consider it done.
Now, the problem is you're probably not going to be able to find him because he's in hiding and he doesn't really come out much because he knows the Israelis will kill him as soon as he shows his face. So every time he does a presentation, it's always on video. But I have a feeling through your family connections, you can organize Hassan Nasrallah on this podcast. And I would like to request today that you do that.
Sure, consider it done.
Excellent. Crossing it off my list.
You think you're such a badass, Jonathan? You think you can kill anybody? Really? You can't even kill a cockroach.
I'll have you know. You know, ever hear of the spotted lanternfly? Or are you living under a rock? You know what the spotted lanternfly is?
No, Jonathan, you're the one living under the
so
rock.
Ignorant. So the spotted lanternfly is an invasive species that has made its way over from Asia. And it has been known to destroy the grape crop, which would affect the wine industry. Now, this spotted lanternfly has these big wings and this red, it's like a red background with black dots on it when it opens its wings. Actually, a very pretty insect. But you're supposed to kill it, stomp on it, and destroy it as soon as you see it. The spotted lanternfly will eat all of the grapevines, the grapes, the vines, and destroy the product, destroy the whole crop. The point that I'm bringing up, what's the point? What did we start talking about? There's a reason we brought this down.
Sitting here thinking, wait, how is this related to the topic?
No, you said something that brought this on.
Oh,
you said I can't kill a fly. That's what it was. So anyway, so my daughter, interestingly enough, my daughter, who is a vegetarian bordering on vegan, called up, or my son actually did this for her, called up PETA, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, the organization, and ordered what's called an ethical bug catcher. So normally you see a bug in your house, you're like, and you kill the bug.
You have a board in your house.
Well, what the ethical bug catcher is, it's this contraption that you put over the bug and then you close it so you could capture the bug and release it outside. So I was doing something with my daughter the other day. I saw the spotted lanternfly and she sees it also. She goes, I'm going to the ethical bug catcher. And I go, no, you're not. And I crushed it and I smushed it and I killed it. And it was like bleeding all over the place. And she was so angry at me And you just said before, I don't have the ability to kill a cockroach. I killed a spotted lanternfly as per the instructions.
Jonathan gave us a long-winded explanation of how he killed a bug.
You told me I'm not capable. You said I'm not capable.
Down to your ability to kill.
So turn and bow. Face me, not the camera. Go ahead.
John. Anyway, you can't help yourself.
I can't.
I'm gonna get a real podcast partner. I'm tired of this.
Here we go again. At least this time you said it in public
Right.
instead of private.
Because I'm tired of the boy, you know. I wish more of the man came out and said I got 80% of the boy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You know what? This was a perfect opening for me to discuss what I heard in the studio today when you were talking to one.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it. Okay, forget it.
We only have 3 minutes left, and let me say this, and then you can tell me that.
Is this the part I'm not allowed to interrupt?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is important, and I was feeling these emotions last night, right before I went to sleep. So I documented them. Because, you know, really, my heart really hurts. I know that there's good and bad everywhere, and that we can never just have a perfect world. But it's that. Anyway,
I'm
I
sucking
wanted
on my
to say
tea bags.
this before we wrap the show.
Just keep me
tonight.
quiet while I suck on the tea bags.
I am not trying to be provocative or disrespectful, but how can I respect that which I know isn't true? Until I am told I am no longer living in a democratic country, I reserve the right to my beliefs and my philosophy. This does not mean I am asking anyone to share my views, but on my show,
Our
my/our show, I choose to exercise what little democratic rights I have to free speech. And so everything I have shared with you tonight are my views and my opinions. And I would hope that we can see some form of democracy reintroduced into our world here in the United States of America. We need to stop being hypocrites. We need to stop telling the rest of the world we are democratic. Because if we are, and something as simple as freedom of speech, we are being penalized for, then we need to correct the narrative. Because it would mean we are all tone dead. And I would hope that we haven't gone there yet, because that would be a really sad time for this country. And so for all those people who are being bullied and who are not free to discover what is hidden, or when other people try to enlighten others, they are being punished. Some of them are winding up dead. If I go missing and people don't know where I am, maybe it has something to do with my ballsy attitude here tonight. But I've always been ballsy. And I can't help it. I'm intrinsically wired that way. And I make no excuses for it because I'm not offensive. I hope not. And so before we wrap, John, would you like to add anything to my diatribe?
Yes, I want to edit one line.
Diatribe, but this was weighing me down. I just had to get it out there.
I want to correct one phrase you said. Tone dead. There's no such thing. It's tone deaf.
Tone dead.
There's no such thing as tone dead.
There is tone deaf.
Tone deaf. That's the expression.
I know there's.
You make up your own stuff.
I do.
In a way, it's cute. In a creepy, weird way, it's cute. But
I'm living in a democratic country, right? I can make up stuff. You know what I meant.
Well, I'm going to add to you a little bit to what you just said, just quickly. One of the best ways, as I said before, of changing
7 minutes.
of changing the narrative is through the ballot box. And if they don't steal the election or cheat or whatever, the disenfranchised people do have a way of recapturing their power. And the ballot box in a democracy, the ballot box is the most powerful way of doing that. So I recommend voting whatever side you're on, hopefully the correct side, to get our country back. Because if we lose our country, we're completely screwed.
And thank you so much for watching.
How can you say that?
The
Off me.
podcast but we are raw and authentic, and we do not intend to offend anyone.
Yes, we do.
And we will see you next time.
Especially
with the
San
next
Francisco.
segment.